Have you thought about remodeling your kitchen, thinking about it, but have no clue where to start, what it's going to cost, what you should consider, or who you can trust to talk to? Well, we have the answers right here today. Thank you so much for coming. I am at Studio M in Plymouth with Kelly Davert, the manager, and we're going to talk about all the things that you need to know to plan your kitchen and who you can trust. They guide you through the whole process. But before we do that, I'm Mary Jo, eXp Realty. Thank you so much for coming to my Facebook Live, and just love to ask you if you would sign in below so I can be in touch with you, let you know what's coming next, if you have questions, or let me know what you'd like to see. So let's dig in. This is Kelly with Studio M. She is the manager. Kelly, can you tell us a little bit about Studio M, what it is you do, and what you'd like people to know about it?
Absolutely. We're a full service design studio, so we have both interior designers and kitchen and bath and cabinetry designers on staff. And our job here is really to make dreams come true, to create beautiful spaces, to solve problems. But we work collaboratively on many of our projects. Literally, you can do anything you'd like. I mean, we can work on a project that's, this small or this big, the entire home, the exterior. Our mainstay here is cabinetry, along with furniture, art, accessories, lighting, countertops, you name it. We have everything here. But like I said, our focus here is cabinetry and furnishings.
So I have to ask you a question. When you come into Studio M, I just have to say it is so comfortable. And it's so beautiful. Do you ever have to throw people out?
We used to tease. We had a master bedroom set up, and we used to tell people they could spend the night, and then we, see them the next day, and they could
make the design decisions and talk in the morning.
But it's fun. It's really, thank you for that compliment. We want people. We're real people. We are consumers. We are real people. We do this because we love it. But our job here is to literally bring spaces to life, to make them function, to improve someone's life, a family's life.
It does. Redoing a kitchen absolutely changes your life.
It is life changing.
So what are some of the most common misconceptions that people have about designing a kitchen?
I suppose, where to start, cost, how do I know I'm working with the right team, just picking the right
but the kitchen is the most complicated room.
Yes.
There is a lot of technology. It's not just slamming some cabinets and countertops into place. So what are people thinking? Do they understand how complicated it is usually, or do they have that reality TV? Let's just put it together.
I would say there's a little bit of both. But that's our job, and our job is to explain that and to make it easy. It really is to take their dream and put it on paper, and as you can see in this particular vignette, pull it all together for them within their budget, and maybe get them out of their comfort zone. It just depends. It really is all based on what they're looking for.
So where should people start? What's the first steps?
The first steps.
I know they've looked on Pinterest.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have 22 Pinterest boards. So after Pinterest
in-house, come to a showroom like our own. We like to say talk to the experts. There's experts for everything. I mean, there's experts, there's attorneys, there's realtors, we're cabinet designers. That's what we do, that's what we understand. Cabinetry is very technical. You don't just put it together. There's a rhyme and reason for everything we do in all the details.
It's not like IKEA with one screwdriver and magic happens?
No. It's a little more complicated, but we love it. I mean, that's what we thrive on, is that how technical it is, and improving a space and maximizing a space. I mean, you can take the smallest kitchen that doesn't function today, and it's amazing what we can do with that. And it's just, again, sitting down and having that initial conversation with the expert is really where to start.
So people should look around, they should go to showrooms, do their Pinterest boards. How do they decide on a budget?
You can base it, and everyone has a budget. So we have always used the NKBA guidelines. If someone has absolutely no idea where to start, we always say, 15 to 25% of the value of your home is what you should spend on a kitchen remodel. And take a look at that. And on our website, there's a project calculator that gives you some idea of all the different line items that need to be taken
Oh,
into account
that's
when you
really-
are doing a kitchen or a bathroom remodel.
Would you tell people what your website is so
Yes,
they can go there?
It's www.studiom-kb.com.
Now, you mentioned that you had done a reality TV show remodeling a kitchen. Can you explain that experience?
I did. I had the opportunity to be part of an extreme makeover probably 10 years ago. And the expectations that people do have with HGTV really are not how it really does go. I mean, it does take longer than 2 weeks or 3 days to install a kitchen or do a main floor remodel. In that particular episode, it was a year actually a year to year and a half planning and pulling that whole thing together and then executing it on a 3-day weekend. But hundreds of people are there, hundreds of skilled laborers, and you would just come in every so many hours. We would bring somebody else in. So we always want people to understand that what you see there, and the budgets are very unrealistic. They have many sponsors paying for a lot of that product. When they tell you cabinets cost $5,000, that's probably maybe 3 times that, 4 times that, just based on whatever the room is. But you're not seeing
And the quality of the
quality
of the cabinet.
Sure, the finish. The finishes are important too. So
So in the design process, one of the things that irks me is when they have Architectural Digest does this. What is out and what's in? HGTV does it too. So the same designer who told you last year that you needed the Edison lights and this and that goes, oh, they're so passé. How do people design for long term? Because you want to live with the kitchen for a long time. You don't want to make a major investment and then think you're going to change it out in a few years.
absolutely.
What are the most important considerations?
Well, we really like to design timeless projects that will withstand the test of time. Cabinetry and countertops are very expensive, so let's do timeless there. But we can get a little trendy hardware, decorative lighting, a backsplash, maybe even plumbing, finishes. Those are things that are easy to take out, and then we can accessorize. Our accessories can be very trendy, and then when a new trend or something comes up, we out with them, in with something else. But the mainstay, the cabinets, the countertops, those workhorses that are expensive to replace still look beautiful. And we hear that, people will come in here a lot and say, gosh, I can't believe you changed all the cabinetry. We don't change it as often as folks might think so. We're just re-accessorizing, re-merchandising the whole showroom. We have a very talented team from Studio M Interiors who does that for us daily. So
That's terrific. So in doing that, okay, let's say you have a project with a client and they're pulling everything out. What do they do with the old cabinets?
Oh my goodness, we have wonderful resources for that. So one is Urban Homeworks, which is a company. I believe they're a nonprofit, but they go into Minneapolis and their job is really to clean up neighborhoods, if you will. They find a home that maybe the city of Minneapolis may sell to them, may gift them. But what they're trying to do is create low to moderate income households for families that may never have an opportunity to own a home. So we'll take these cabinets out of the homes, and they will take anything, the old cabinets out of a project, and we'll repurpose them into these homes. Well, even with vanities, sometimes the vanities they may be a little dated, but they're perfect for these opportunities. The other is the Habitat Restore. We also send a lot of our displays there for them to sell and use for good use of money and to pay for projects that they do in the community as well.
So Habitat for Humanity has Restore, which are used, sometimes gently used, but they're in good condition. And they do get donations from some builders and sources like you. So if you think remodeling, come here first, but you might want to check out Restore.
Absolutely. And just the Urban Homeworks for anything that you're doing. Any type of hardware, lighting, anything you're taking out of your home, they would love to have it.
Oh, that's really exciting, because I was thinking, where does all of this go?
Yeah.
Mountains of old refrigerators and all of that. So
Thank
you for that information. Tell us, what does a kitchen designer really do? How do they help people?
Well, they help you, they bring the vision to life. They're there to tell you, and I want to be careful saying what you can and can't do, but sometimes there are things that just are prohibited depending on the
Space,
on the
budget,
space,
time, yeah.
budget, time, absolutely. But they have so many questions because every single design and project is based on the homeowner and their lifestyle and how they're going to live and how long are they going to stay in the home. What is the budget? Our job is to get as much in that as we possibly can.
So you have an interview with
Yes.
your client.
Yes,
To find about their lifestyle and their expectations,
Absolutely.
how they want that kitchen to work for them.
100%. We really can't do our job. We will never just come in and design something without all that input because it truly is based on our customers and it's one project at a time.
So even in new construction, I've seen recently at the Parade of Homes, they have some remodeled homes, and some of those were so beautiful. They were more individualized than even new construction can be without just hiking the price exorbitantly. So what is the trend that you're seeing in remodeling? Who is remodeling?
Oh my goodness, I think everyone. Hence the backup that we have. The trend, and it has been literally for the last 5 years, it's just sometimes slow to get here, but the warmer woods, the mid-tones, the blondes, you see a lot of it in the white oak flooring. Some of the natural,
Yes.
it almost looks raw, some of the oak. This got a very low a very matte finish on it, so it looks like it almost
No more
doesn't have
glossy,
any.
right?
No, in many instances, no. We're, in fact, mostly a matte finish on about everything we have now, even countertops. So a lot of just more natural, as much natural lighting as possible, but still a blend of paint, lighter paint. People still kind of tend
Moving away a little
away
bit
from the
all
bright
white.
white. Yep. So
stark
something like
white.
if you can see these cabinets in the background, it still looks white, but it's called willow, and it's very. If you put a bright white against it, you'll notice that it really isn't bright white. But softer tones. We're softening up. We don't have, and in some instances, people still do like that high contrast, a black and a white, or a taupe and a something. But it really is, when you walk in, it's a little more monochromatic. It's a little bit softer.
So you do the interview with people,
Yes.
and budget is a part of that.
Yes.
The end outcome is a part of that. So are people prepared for the timeline? How long? Depends on the people. An average timeline to remodel.
I think it's-
Plan and remodel.
Plan and remodel.
Yes.
Fairly, I would say a year. Because once you start, and don't let that scare people, but it is, the more you plan, having everything at the job site when you start, and we've got some lead time issues right now, and some of the product is harder to get, so it really can
A
take a
refrigerator
year.
shortage, for example.
And we don't know what's to come. I mean, we don't know if our lead times are going to continue to escalate, if they're going to start coming down. But a lot of this is based too on the labor shortage. Our manufacturers have cut back on output to do a great job, but to assure that we get it, it's done and it's completed correctly and it's on time.
Takes a little longer.
It does. So, and I'm all about waiting for that because I'd rather have it looking great than doing a little here and there. But yes, I would say 6 months to a year. And the question about whether or not somebody lives through their home,
Do they live there during
lives through the
construction?
remodel. Some people do and some people don't. If you're going to stay in the home, we work very hard to, depending on what the scope of the project is can we mask this space off enough to keep the dust and everything under control, and our installers work very hard to make it as if they're not there, but they're there every day. But we always want to make sure that they've got a temporary place to cook, a temporary place to wash dishes, a temporary place to be comfortable. And we do everything we can to communicate this timeline from start to finish.
I think
So
most
they-
contractors kind of ignore that part.
Well, we try to pull them all in. We're all on the same page, and we're doing our very best to work together
to make life
and make
comfortable if they are staying.
And it is, and I don't want anyone to ever walk away thinking it's going to be easy, because it won't. And it's like a roller coaster. When you start, everybody's excited. all of us are excited, and then we start down and we start taking, we start pulling apart, we start the demo, the dust starts coming, and we hit that bottom before we are able to go back up. And
To really
that's
excitement.
kind of where we have another meeting and just remind, we're on the uphill swing, and we're going to come out of this, and it's going to be beautiful. And it's like giving birth to a child. You kind of forget that pain.
That's 9 months, and we're pretty much out there.
Exactly. So that's kind of how it goes.
And then you have the big reveal
Yes.
at the end.
Yes. And nothing makes us happier than to see the smile on a family's face, and to know that it was well worth the little bit of pain, or, however they were inconvenienced to get it done.
So what's the biggest challenge to homeowners right now when they're remodeling?
I would say, oh my goodness, wow, there's just understanding, what your team is up against, and just trying to organize everything, I think, on the back end.
So
and
do you spend
getting-
some time educating your clients on what the team really does?
Absolutely. We want
So
them to
that they
know.
understand they're not sloughing off, or if there's a gap, they have
And
someone to call.
There's always something going on, whether they may see it or not. Especially I think the time comes when the base cabinets have been set and we're waiting on countertops. We template the minute those bases are set, and then we have a 2 to 5 week lull of waiting on those countertops to come back. There's ways of working within that space and being able
Okay.
to live in it while we're waiting. But yeah, there's always a lot of things going on the back end. But that's our job, to communicate so that they are comfortable knowing that things are happening,
Right.
even
And
when you don't see someone.
I think that's the hardest, when they think nothing is being done.
Yes.
And they see TV and it's done in an hour.
Yes, yeah.
And
Again,
so how can they stay so long?
very unrealistic and expectations, and not from the homeowner. It's just what is being set by HGTV.
I watch programs where they've built a house and furnished the house and done it all in an hour, and I'm going, I am in this business, and they have me fooled.
Yeah.
It looks like it can be done. So there is a timeline, and it's really important to work with professionals who know what they're doing. Otherwise, they'll wind up with something that they're not as happy with, or may have flaws.
Absolutely.
Kelly, thank you so much.
Oh, no, thank you
for having
very
us
much.
here today. Can you please tell people how to get in touch with Kelly?
Absolutely. Well, you certainly can call the showroom, which is 763-717-8500, or visit our website at www.studiom-kb.com, or email me directly, or fill out our contact form on our website.
Wonderful. Thank you again so much, and I'll come back again. We'll talk about, can we talk about bathrooms sometime?
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, I noticed in their restroom it's the heated toilet. I would so not hate winter so much if I had a heated toilet seat.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something and you know where to go for expertise. Please do come again next week. So it's Mary Jo. Don't forget to sign up below. Just do it for me. And love to talk with you if you have questions or concerns. Thanks much, and I'll see you next week.